Artillerymen of the 80th Air Assault Brigade are preparing to attack the enemy. The shell for the self-propelled artillery mount 2S1 Gvozdika is being signed for the wild with a marker. The senior officer of the battery, Ivan, says that despite the fact that the situation in the Bakhmut direction is stably difficult, the front line is actually not moving.
To work at any distance up to 15 kilometers. 15 kilometers and 200 meters is the maximum range. We can work from 3, 4, 5 kilometers. We have targets in 5 to 10 kilometers. The Russians are getting killed there. This is their main tactic and mission.
The task for Ivan's unit is to clear the enemy's sector of the enemy. Monitoring is carried out with the help of drones. When they see a cluster, they give a command to fire.
Our drones, who are a kilometer away and sometimes closer to the enemy, they fly over the Russians. They give me a picture, and when I see some kind of movement or accumulation of equipment, enemy personnel, some kind of AGS-17 automatic grenade launcher or SPG-9 recoilless gun, they give me a target. Then I take permission to open fire from my senior boss and observe. I have one tablet on which I see a picture in real time, and the other one on which I decide how to make the landscape of that area, how to change it a little.
Maxim is the youngest in the unit. The serviceman is 19 years old and he has been participating in hostilities for a year and a half. He says that he signed the contract as soon as he came of age. He says that the worst thing in war is to lose fellows.
The worst thing is probably to see our guys getting killed.
All other difficulties, according to the soldier, can be dealt with, and you learn anything here.
My gun commander taught me how to aim. He told me everything about the machine, what, how and why, how to target, what mistakes there are, where can I make them. He always corrects me if I'm wrong. There are skilled soldiers, but there is no hazing.
Mikhailo is the commander of the 2S1 Gvozdika. Before the full-scale Russian war, the man had served in the armed forces of Ukraine for 4 years. Then he resigned and stayed at home for 5 months. After February the 24th, without hesitation, he packed his backpack and went to the enlistment office. His parents and girlfriend are waiting for him in the Lviv region. He shows us what he does in his spare time.
I read different books. Sometimes I read, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I surf the internet. Here is a book, A General Introduction to Psychoanalysis by Sigmund Freud. Let's put it this way. I rarely read it, but it happens. It is important to know something new about yourself, about the world, how to understand the world around you. And even sometimes you read something in a book, and a day later the same thing happens in your life. For example, you understand that someone does not believe you. A person believes that he did something, but everyone saw that he did not. And the book says, fake memories. Literally a day after I read it, this situation happened to my fellow and a fire extinguisher.
Mikhailo says he has recently read several books, among them the treatise The Art of War by Sun Tzu and Make Your Bed by Admiral William McRaven. The soldier also shows us that while reading, he is trying to exercise either.
This is an expander. I've taken it recently from my mate, because I was slightly wounded. My finger now did not work well, so I sneezed in it, but now everything is fine.
During our communication with the military, the command to fight was received. Within a minute, they took their places in a self-propelled artillery mount.
Заряджено. Заряджено! Готовий. Наведений, заряджений. Гармата! Постріл!
Reloading, and the second projectile is being sent exactly to the target. After working out on the target, the servicemen instantly disguise the howitzer and leave the position, descending into the dugout. Everything must be done as quickly as possible because the enemy can track the place of the shot and open fire in response.
The ban worked. Most likely there were offensive actions, or perhaps they tried to shoot. But we were ahead of the curve. Now they won't do anything.
There can be several of such tasks and targets per day, sometimes more than a dozen, but servicemen do not complain. They say when there is a lot of work, there is hope for an early deoccupation of the Donetsk and Luhansk regions. For now, their task is to prevent the Russian invaders from taking Bakhmut and Chasiv Yar. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Anastasia Volkova, Artem Voronin, UATV News.